the task that I do on WebLogic or a middleware platform, I can do it with my web server. Okay, my web server can connect to a database server, right or wrong? Anyone?
Correct. Yeah, correct.
Perfect. Can I host my Java, JSPs and servlets on my web server?
No.
No. No.
No. Okay. Which bank do you bank with? Bank of America?
Yes.
What is the home page of Bank of America? What is the page?
It's a login screen.
What is that page? Is that a JSP or a servlet? Okay. So I can very well, browse JSPs and servlets using my web server. I don't need an application for viewing a JSP or a servlet, first of all. Okay? Is that clear to all?
Yes.
Okay. So when I say I can very well host my JSPs and servlets on web server, then why do I need a middleware server? I can very well connect to a database from my web server, which you all agree, and we can host JSP and servers on a web server. Then why do I need a middleware server? What was the need for companies to host a middleware server, giving or paying for such a hefty license? Any idea?
Apart from
Anyone?
the static content, we do have a dynamic content where we have this business logic and all. And not
Perfect.
all that we can have on a web server itself. It only serves the static content, whereas we need to go and make some add some spices to the website or to the application. We need an application server where the codes need to be.
Okay. So your answer is perfect. Business logic. What is that business logic? I see so many things saying business logic in Google. So what is that business logic? Your answer is absolutely correct. Web server serves only the static pages. For dynamic contents, we need a place from where I can serve the dynamic pages. For that, we use the middle tier. Okay. Now you also said that to serve the business logic. Now, what do you mean by business logic? Any idea?
So it's the Java code, not only the Java code and everything, the var files, CR files.
Okay. So what is a business logic basically? Business logic can only be achieved by beans. Okay. What are those beans? EJBs. Exactly. Okay. So with this EJB, it's so powerful. With the ease of EJB, you can configure each and everything at a single place and serve everything from a single location. Okay. Now you guys are working on WebSphere. Now tell me one thing. When you deploy an application, okay, and if you have to connect to a database, can you directly connect to a database from your WebSphere?
No. We need to JDBC connection.
No, that's right. We have to configure a JDBC without. See, unless and until if I tell you come to my house, unless and until I don't give you the address and the route how to come to my house, you cannot come to my house, right?
Yeah.
we have to guide, I have to guide you, or I have to tell you, boss, this is my address, please come to my address. Without that, you won't be able
We
to
say
come.
JMDI.
Exactly. So we have to define all those things. So my question is, from your web sphere, can you connect to your database? Let me put it this way. From your web sphere, if I configure a data source, can I connect to a database?
Yeah.
Okay. From your web sphere, if I want to send a message, okay, nowadays we don't configure JMS in WebSphere or JMS or JBoss. We always use a third-party tool who sends the message and receives the message. So from my WebSphere, can I send a message to a third-party application like WebSphere MQ or your TIPCO or ESB, whatever it is? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Yes, I can do that, right?
Yes.
Right. From your WebSphere, can you connect to a third-party application? Let's say, for
Yeah.
example,
By APIs.
let's say, for example, my application is a trading application. Okay. Now, a trading application needs to have the spot rates. The spot rate means the rates should be live in the market, right? If they are giving the stale rates, the company won't be able to survive. So we need rates, live rates from market. So to get that rate from the market, we need to integrate our application with a third-party application that will continuously give us the rates, right? So will I be able to integrate my application with such third-party tool or application?
You can, but you need to configure those, I think.
See, everything in an IT industry, for everything there is a workaround, there is a resolution. We need to simply do the config. Without config, nothing is going to happen. So my only question is it possible or not?
Yes.
Perfect. So these all things you can do because of called as EJBs. What is EJB? Enterprise Java
Beans.
Beans. So what happens with Enterprise Java Beans is you can configure all the systems, all the modules in a single location without needing to have a separate server for any module. Okay, this is called as business logic. Okay, I can have a server with good resource and I can host an enterprise application which will use different modules for different stuff, like JDBC module for connecting to database, JMS module for sending of messages, deployment module for doing the deployment. So all can be achieved at a single location. And most important part is that if you write your code in EJB, you can put your code from your one application and you can paste it, or you can put it in any other application server that you are using. You don't have to rewrite the code again and again. This is the most important function or most important advantages of using EJBs. Is everyone clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the reason why we use EJB. Okay, now again coming back to our question, why web server and why we use middleware, why not web server? The biggest difference between web server and your application server, the answer I guess Satish or Sai, I don't exactly recollect. So you said was exactly absolutely perfect. Web server serves the static content, okay, and application server serves the dynamic content. Now can you tell me what is the static and what is the dynamic content, giving an example?
The requests which are coming from the end user, it is static content. The logic which is provided to the user is the dynamic content.
I want an example. Give an example. See, this answer that you are giving is absolutely perfect for a person who is technically very sound. If you have to explain it to a layman, how will you explain it to him?
Okay, suppose I'm using some banking site, something ICICI.com. So when the request comes, it goes to the DNS, and from there it goes to the web server, particular web server, and from the particular web server, from the plugin, it routes to the particular app server, application server. In that application server, whichever he is fetching or whichever he wants, I mean, if he wants to see his balance or something, it goes to some other business logic, or it fetches from there and it gives back to the end user. That is dynamic.
Okay. So somewhat same, yes, but not exactly 100%. Now, let's say for example,
Normal Google page is a static content, and when you get into a Gmail account, that would be a dynamic, if you have to say in simple words.
not really. Now let's take the same example that Satish gave. Okay, if I want, let's say for example, in the browser I browse www.icicibank.com. I get a page, right? Now, can you tell me how many of you have a ICICI bank account?
Yeah,
I don't think everyone has. Okay. Now, do everyone have a common Bank of America account?
yes.
Yes. So everyone has Bank of America account. Good. So whenever you browse www.bankofamerica.com, what do you get?
We get the login page, and later it asks for the credentials, which is
Now in bankofamerica.com page, you would be having so many things, so many headings, subheadings, topics, modules. One would be saying internet banking, one would be saying retail banking, one would be saying a home loan and blah 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 stuffs, right? Is it something like that or it's not like that?
I have Bank of America, but I'm not sure about the others.
Okay, not really. So basically when you type bankofamerica.com, everyone gets the same page and the same stuff all over, right?
Yes.
Have you ever seen that page changing? You might see the design changing, the design in the page be changing, but have you ever seen that particular page changing?
Yeah, when they do a major release or something, it may changes.
The page, I'm talking about page, I'm not talking about design.
No, it won't change.
Page and design are two different things. A page means a page, the contents are same. Okay, yes, it won't change, because that is nothing but a static content which is served from the web server. Now, when you click on net banking or when you log in, okay, you go into a net banking page and you enter the application. That is completely on middle tab. Okay. Now, after going into the page, let's say for example, you want to transfer some amount to me. What will you do? You will add me in the third party beneficiary, right?
Yeah.
So when you click on third party beneficiary, you will get a different page. If you want to transfer that amount to me, you will get a different page, right? If you want to see your balance, you will see a different page. Okay, if you want to open a demat account, you will see a different page. So whatever things are there in that net banking application, for every click a user gets a different page. Okay, and that page or that application is hosted on a single server, not on different server. Okay, so from that server, on every click the user gets different page. The pages differ, because those are called as dynamic content. So this is what we call as static and dynamic content. Is it clear?
Yes, Shandu.
Okay. So web server supports servlets and JSPs, but as of today, 25th of May for me, 24th of May for you, as of today, web server does not support EJBs. That's the reason there is a huge need of people using middle tier for hosting their application. Okay, with WebLogic, it's like you guys are working on WebSphere, so it doesn't make any sense like telling you that this is this stuff. Okay, there is a huge argument since I have started my career. Which one is the best middleware application server to use, WebSphere or WebLogic? Okay, the only difference that I see with WebSphere and WebLogic is that the logs are user friendly in WebLogic. If there is any issue, you can read the logs very easily and conveniently, and you can find the root cause of the issue. As compared to WebSphere, the logs are not user or human friendly on WebSphere application server. That is the only difference that I see between WebSphere and WebLogic. Rest, everything is same. Okay, so in our training, I'll just give you a top overview what all things we're going to cover. Okay, now WebLogic works on a domain concept. Okay, do you know what is a domain concept? Because in WebSphere you guys have cells and nodes, right?
Yes.
Okay, so by any chance do you guys have any idea about a domain concept? What is a domain?
I think it's here it's deployment manager concept. Here I think it's no domain concept.
Deployment manager is yes, to some extent you can relate to it, yes, but not exactly how you define deployment manager on different servers and application server on different server, not like that, but yes. So domain, like when you say I want to host an application in WebLogic, we configure a domain. Okay, now never ever relate this domain with the actual domain. bankofamerica.com is a domain, gmail.com is a domain, right? hdfcbank.com is a domain, yahoo.com is a domain. That domain and the domain that we talk about in WebLogic has nothing to do with each other, because those domains .com, .in, whatever domains, they are hosted in DNS, which are publicly available. Okay, which are publicly available universally to all. Now the domain that we are talking about in WebLogic is just a concept and nothing else. Now let's say for example, I want to host okay, let's take the same example, net banking application. Okay, so what I do, I configure a domain called as net banking, so that because on a server there are many domains, right? I can host many applications on a single server, right or wrong?
Yes.
Can I host more than one server in application? Yes. So if I want to host a net banking application, I will configure a domain with the name called net banking and I'll host the application inside it. So basically in real-time environments, whatever domain you see, it will be correlated with the kind of application you are hosting. Okay, so domain is nothing but a name in a directory structure. Okay, let's say for example /domain _path / your application, like this. Okay, so it's like whatever path you want to host your WebLogic domain, it will be a simple path with a name, that's it. So it has nothing to do with the actual domain that we have, which are actually hosted on DNS, which has name servers and all those stuffs. Here there is nothing, it's just for the sake of it. That's because WebLogic works in a domain concept. Okay.
That means the total application path resides in this one?
Yeah, in the domain home, yes. Whatever the domain you create, your application will reside in that path. Your logs will be inside that path, inside domain path. Okay. Now whatever servers, now you must be aware, in WebLogic we configure admin server, right, and manage servers. So all these admin and manage servers will be inside domain. Clear? So domain is nothing but a name for in the directory structure. That's it. Just a name in the directory structure. Like we have, you configure a node in WebSphere, right? So add to your node in your WebSphere. Inside that you'll have everything, right? Or a cell for that matter.
Profiles and profiles we have. Okay. Yeah,
yes,
cells.
right. Right. So exactly similar way in WebLogic we configure everything inside a directory called as domain. Okay. Now in WebLogic is the same thing that we do in WebSphere. Okay. Only the GUI is different. Concept is exactly the same. There is no difference in the concept. Okay. Exactly same, no difference in concept. Now WebSphere was the first ever middleware to be introduced in 1995. It was owned by a company called as OBIEE. This was a company that owned WebLogic. Okay, later on Oracle took over. Now it has become Oracle WebLogic. Okay. So in 1995, the first middleware people started using was WebLogic. Later on, all your web middleware like your WebSphere, JBoss, then there is something called as Pramati Application Server, which is a Hyderabad-based company. It is also a good middleware application. Glassfish. So this all came into existence after WebLogic. WebLogic was the first middleware that people started using or ever introduced. Okay, so now in our training we will be covering briefly, okay, the WebLogic. Now when you configure WebLogic, so there are some prerequisites. Okay, we have to configure WebLogic home directory before you configure the domain. Okay, if you don't have a WebLogic home directory, you cannot configure a domain. In short, you cannot host an application. Okay, so we will be looking at WebLogic installation and configuration. Okay, in this we will be seeing WebLogic home and domain directory, and we will be looking at the directory structures of both home and domain, because if you are clear and if you have good knowledge about the directory structures, it becomes easy for you to troubleshoot any issues, because you know the directory structures well. Not in WebLogic, in any application server. Okay, then we see how we configure domain. Okay, then creation of managed and admin server. Okay, and these all things we will be doing exactly the same way I do in my office. So in short, it will be exactly the same way as we do in real-time environments. Okay, then there is something called as node manager. We'll look into it, the configuration. And so basically understand one thing, whenever we cover any topics, so we are also gonna cover the real-time issues that can occur, the probable or the possible errors that can occur, and how to fix that, or if what is the workaround for that, as and when we take every topic. Okay, then there is deployment. So I'm just giving a top level overview. Okay, there are so many things in these things. deployment. Then there is something called as JDBC for connecting your database. Then we have JMS. Then we have user creation in WebLogic. I'm not sure if WebSphere has that, because the last version that I worked on WebSphere was 7. After that, I've never seen WebSphere. So, do you have? Can you create a users in WebLogic WebSphere?
Yes.
Okay. Then you have this performance tuning. Then you have web server to WebLogic configuration. And then interview questions. So these are things we will cover in our entire training. Okay. Now, first and very important thing, because I don't know if you guys are gonna join the training or not, but let me make it very clear to you. Whatever stuff, okay, whatever stuff, the entire training will be done by you guys on your own system. I don't do anything on my system. I don't use my system at all. I don't like people looking at my screen, and you know, when I say understand, everyone says understand, and actually it doesn't go into your brain. So basically, if there are 4 students, we will start the training. The first day starts with one student sharing his screen to all and doing the stuff which I'll be telling. Second day, the second student uses his laptop or his screen, shares his screen with everyone and does the stuff. Third day, third student. Fourth day, fourth student. Again, fifth day, the first student comes. So alternate days, everyone will be sharing the screen to everyone. Everyone will be watching his screen or her screen. Okay, so that this way everyone in the training is on the same page, and most importantly, by the end of the course, you have good hands-on experience in navigation and doing stuffs. So, in short, I will do nothing. You guys will be doing everything on your own system. Any questions?
So would this be on the Linux environment or Windows environment?
Yes, Linux environment. I don't prefer Windows.
Okay.
See, I'll tell you what.
SSL? Okay.
Sorry?
SSL.
Yes, I'm so sorry I missed that part. Yes, we do have SSL. SSL on WebLogic. Yes, we do have that. So real-time environments, 99.99, almost 100% of your installations will always be on Linux only, Unix. You don't have any application hosted on Windows. You can ask whatever questions, whatever doubts you have. And whichever topics we are seeing, whatever topic I have listed, that all, you know, performance tuning in that part as well we will be covering as and when we take. So this performance tuning, when I say performance tuning, this is basically JVM performance tuning, which is very important. Okay, that is particularly basically JVM.
We'll be covering cluster concepts, this thing.
Yes, it is there in class. Oh, I have not written cluster, my mistake, yes. So basically everything will be covered, okay, whatever you do in your WebSphere. Okay, cluster will be covered, SSL will be covered, okay, how to connect your web server to WebLogic will be covered, okay. Then there is something called a node manager, which is a very, very, very important concept, okay, which actually needs your good concentration to understand that topic. So each and everything will be covered in that.
Okay. And these fixed packs things, everything will be coming, right?
No, fixed packs we don't cover because we don't apply any fixed packs. Okay,
Okay.
but yes, I'll tell you how to apply a fixed pack. It's not fixed pack in WebLogic, we call it as patch, maintenance
Okay.
pack we call it as. In WebSphere we call it as fixed pack. We actually don't apply fixed pack over here. In training we don't cover that. But yes, we can, I can tell you. And apart from that, if you have any questions regarding your environment, may it be JBoss, WebSphere, you can say share your questions with me. I'll try my best to answer your question and fix any issues if you have
Is
any.
coherence is a cache thing?
Yes, coherence is a cache thing, session management, which comes apart from WebLogic.
Okay.
Okay. Now basically, let's say for example, earlier what used to happen was, if I want to install a WebLogic, okay, and I download a WebLogic, I would get WebLogic as a single package. Okay. Now with this change in versions and all the stuff, you will not get a single WebLogic package. You will have to download a package that will have coherence or Java ID or whatever along with WebLogic. So that package bundle comes by default with WebLogic. Any more questions?
You would be telling us which version has to be installed and
The
how.
most stable version 10.3.6. 10.3.6 is the most stable version used by almost 95% of companies till today.
So we would also be doing the same thing, right?
Yes, 11G. It's the version is 11G.
So even new version features you'll be telling us, right?
Sorry?
I mean, differentiating the old version and the new version features, like how to upgrade also you will
Yes,
be telling us?
that during the theory part, I will tell you what was in the old version, what is in the new version. Yes. But we are not going to use any older version. We are going to do a training on this version. But the differences I am going to tell you. But we are not going to see that differences because we will not be installing the older version. We will be installing this new version.
So you will be even telling us from 11G to 12C upgrades,
Sorry?
right?
See,
From
I will tell you how to upgrade, but I will not show you how to upgrade.
Okay.
I will tell you how to upgrade. Upgrade is not covered in training.
Okay.
Would we be covering any OHS concepts?
No. We will be using the web server called as Apache.
Okay.
That is the most widely used web server all over the world.
Okay.
You will find only few companies using OHS. Yes, any more questions?
No, we
So for
aren't clear.
setting up the environment, the OS and everything, we have to do it by ourselves, or you will be giving us any setup files to do it?
Yes, setup files and everything I will give you. Okay. I will give you notes and I will tell you how to do stuffs. Okay.
When you mean
But
notes, is that the PPTs that you explain us?
no,
That's
I
what
am
you
not.
mean?
I am not a PPT kind of a person. I will give you my own notes that I have earned from my experience. Yes, I do have a rough document that I have prepared. I'm so sorry. I'm very bad at presenting stuff. Okay, that's the reason I am not any manager or anything. I'm simple technical lead, just because I lack in technical skills. I'm not a good presentation guy. I don't have a PPT. Yes, but I can give you more than a PPT. If someone is showing you a PPT and telling you stuff, I can give 10 times more than what he's showing in PPT. That's the reason I don't, that's the simple reason why I don't share screen, because I don't have a PPT. Okay, so notes and all I will be giving you. I have a rough document, I will be giving you that document as well, which is much better than a presentation because it's in a single text format. You can read it, you can understand it.
And the total duration will be 30 hours?
Total duration depends upon you guys, how much time you take to grasp it. There is no such time duration. I don't believe in time. Unless and until it does not go inside your brain, there is no point. If I say it is 20 days, 25 days, I will complete in 25 days. But what about you guys? You are paying money. I'm not paying money. I'm getting money for that. So it entirely depends upon how much time you take to grasp the topic. So unless and until, let's say we are 4 or 5, unless and until all 5 say yes, we don't move to the next topic. As simple as that.
So in the market, anybody is using 12C or everybody is in the phase of 10.3, 8.6?
See, I'll tell you what. Now, what is the version of WebSphere that you're working on?
It's 8.
Do we have WebLogic? Yeah. Do you have WebSphere 9?
No.
No.
8 is the latest version.
Yeah.
8.5 is the latest, yeah.
Which one is the latest?
8.5.
8.5. Okay. So, in every application server, we have a stable version. Do we have?
Yes. In WebSphere, mostly we are using 7 also because 7 is also stable.
Yes. Most of the companies must be using 7. Okay. The reason why these companies use 7, because 7 is the most stable version in WebSphere after 6. Right? 6.1 was the most stable, I guess. There are even companies
from 6.1, yeah, deployment manager is introduced, so from there 7 is stabilized.
Okay. So basically 12C is not an older version. 12C is a version which not all but few companies have started using. Okay. So the most stable version on which you will have bigger applications on WebLogic is the 10.3.6 after 9.2. Okay, there was a version 9.2 which was much stable. Now after 9.2, in this 11G series, 10.3.6 is the most stable version on which most of the biggest applications are running.
Okay, and there won't be much difference, I think so, right?
No, there isn't. See, I'll tell you what. See, if you go into a market, if you want to buy something, okay, if there is something new vegetable, you will not try it first. You will say, let everyone try, let me get a review, then I will go and buy that vegetable and have it. Right? If any new company comes into if you want to buy a mobile phone, okay, if there is a new company, you won't directly buy that new phone, that's just because you're getting it cheap. You will first wait, you will go to all the sites, check the review, and then only you will go and buy the stuff if you like it. Or else, you will still go with your iPhone, because you know you have used iPhone before. Right? So it's the same thing that everyone thinks.
Okay, if you want to join, when can we start this? From tomorrow onwards?
Yes, we can do that.
I mean, with the how others are going also, I'm not sure.
Yes, that's what you'll have to check with this guy Vasu.
Okay.
You're coordinating with Vasu, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure his name. Yeah, Vasu.
Yes. So you have to coordinate with him because he is handling you guys. Okay, so whatever it is, you can discuss with him from you where you want, when you want to start and whatever. So you can discuss with him.
Sure, sure.
Sure.
Yep.
Any more questions? So you can ask as many questions as you want, because if you think that you want to join, then tomorrow it shouldn't be like, why did I join? It shouldn't happen. Everyone should be happy.
You have SOA also?
No. SOA is a different training course.
Yeah.
This is a WebLogic.
Yeah, SOA is different. I mean, if required, you will be teaching or any other stuff.
It depends whether I'll be teaching or any other stuff.
Okay.
Either me or, see, basically in SVR we have many trainers. Okay, so sometimes, see, even I'm working like you guys do. Okay,
Yeah, got it.
so if I am busy at that point in time, if you cannot start a batch, if someone starts, then he'll continue the entire batch,
Okay.
right? Because many a times what happens is, sometimes I'm working on couple of projects. So if the project needs me, I cannot do the training at that point in time, because I can get call anytime. I spend almost 18 to 20 hours for that project, and we have deadlines. So it's like that. If I'm free, I'll take it. If not, then someone else who is ready will take it.
Okay.
Okay. So guys, any more questions? Okay, but before, if you plan to join, then you have bit of a task to do. You have to install a virtual machine and then install a Linux OS on your system with 4 GB as the memory, and minimum 40 GB as 40 GB to a slash partition. To any one partition, we need 40 GB. That is a prerequisite, because you guys will be doing the stuffs, not me.
So what version of Linux do you want us to install?
Any latest version. See, the best way if you want to install is Ubuntu is the easiest way to configure, but Ubuntu is not used in real-time environments because it is open source. Okay, most of the time you will see Red Hat. So if you want a Red Hat feeling or a Red Hat flavor, then you can go with CentOS or Fedora. Okay, these are like Red Hat flavor. So 100% of the commands and 100% of the directory structure remains same in CentOS or Fedora. When you start working, like in your environment, what OS do you use? Red Hat Linux?
Yeah, Red Hat and Solaris.
Solaris, okay. So that's fine. So Solaris and Red Hat is not much difference. So Red Hat, whichever version you will be working on, everything is same with this CentOS or Fedora, because CentOS and Fedora is a Red Hat flavor. But again, if you want to use Ubuntu, you can definitely use Ubuntu. Only thing is that you have to be with you have to be on the same page that everyone is. So when we say that tomorrow it's Satish's turn, Satish has to be ready with the previous configuration. It doesn't matter whether after office he has to stay awake till 2 a.m. in the morning or 3 a.m. in the morning, doesn't matter. We have to work collectively so that everyone can learn stuffs, everyone can do their own stuffs. So it's like that. So when we do let's say for example, when we are doing some practical any topic, so along with the person who is sharing the screen, all the person in the backend should also do the stuffs, so that next tomorrow, if your turn comes, then you are ready with the previous stuff and we can move ahead. Are we good?
From my side, I'm done.
Okay. Sri, Shai, any questions?
No, Shankar.
No, I
Thanks.
think we are good. Shankar, thank you.
All right then, guys. Thanks for your time. Okay, I know it's
Yeah,
late
thanks for your call.
for you. I know it's late for you guys. So, anyways, thanks for your time. Okay, have a good night.
Yeah, thank you, Shankar.
Thanks,
Thank you.
thanks.
Have
Bye.
a nice day. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.